While I was playing some offline runs, I stumbled across this seed which doesn't really look that good. In fact, it looks like complete garbage. But you'll see what resources were used to make this seed something that could have easily shattered the world record. This run happened after my internet crashed after streaming for 7 hours, so if you want to see where all my life and soul is gone, twitch.tv/me. Anyways, let me show you how the seed was played and how it was inevitably thrown. So I load up this world like it's any other world because it is. This isn't actually the run. Get you baited. Anyways, it was the next world. I used a strat called Structureless in my run, which was brought to my attention by 11 billion, and it's really simple and lets you work with pretty much any world, so props to him. And up until the end of this run, I think I played it pretty decently. I feel like this is a slightly better showcase of skill than my PB was, even though the only difference is this is villageless. What makes this seed playable is the fact that there's just a cave, some animals, and a tree. So the first thing I did was get 3 logs, because that's just enough for a wooden pickaxe and some extra sticks. I run down and look for iron, which is really nice because iron is literally in every single cave ever, so as long as your spawn has a cave and some trees, it is playable. Like, this seed just looks like an instant reset. You spawn in a forest by a mountain, there's no structures to help you out at all. But just because structureless is so nice and simple, you can make any run work. I'm gathering 7 iron right now because that's just enough for a bucket, an iron pickaxe, and flint and steel, and a creeper comes over, I just block it off because literally one block will absorb the entire explosion, so it was pretty much harmless. Conveniently, the creeper blew up some coal and cobblestone for me, so whenever I actually get my 7 iron, I just dig a little bit of extra cobble because I'm trying to get enough for a furnace and my tools, so there was actually a lot more cobblestone from that creeper explosion than I thought. So I go ahead and make my stuff. I take my crafting table because I used to leave my stuff behind and it was really inconvenient to run back and forth from the surface to the cave, so I just picked it up instead. This cave was pretty nice to me. It had gravel on the way out, which is really nice because most of the time in my runs where I go structureless, I forget either flint or wood. So it's good that I just found that on the way because I probably would have forgotten it if it wasn't right there in front of my face. As I wait for just one piece of iron to smelt, I chop down a few logs for later so I can use them for beds or whatever else I need to. I get my iron, make flint and steel so I can pretty much just burn animals. Several pork chops or steaks will last me an entire run, so I get to it while the rest of the iron smelts. And pretty much as long as you're doing 2 things at once with structureless, like while the iron's smelting, you're burning animals or getting more wood, you're doing it right, because if you're just sitting there waiting for the iron to smelt, you're pretty much wasting time. Also, shout out to this cow for being an idiot. It just stood in the fire I placed, and the meat burned, and then I stood in the fire. But that didn't happen. Instead, went and burned other cows, and they walked in the water. Tried to burn that one. It was Mach 2 and ran into the water, so I just ignored the cows because cows are lame. I saw another chicken. Chicken is perfectly fine for food. I just decided to kill one more. I checked on the iron. It was not done yet, but I spent enough time to actually make a bucket instead. Because by the time I came back with the water, the rest of the iron would probably be done smelting and I could use that for a pickaxe. So, got my water and ran back to the furnace. I did some strategical chicken eating where I eat chicken and then gain hunger so I have health. It's pretty in-depth. I got shot by a skeleton, which is really annoying because taking damage is kind of bad whenever you don't have an entire village's worth of bread. I got shot again, not a big deal. I just decided to dig down at the start of the cave because this is how you're actually supposed to lava douse, as opposed to my PB where I just found a lava pool by pure luck. The one trade-off of this strat is you usually just have to dig down as I'm doing right now, just looking for lava, which will usually crank your time up to about a 4 to 5 minute enter. However, you do get a lot of blocks, which is pretty huge whenever you're in the nether and you're likely just gonna have 20 lava lakes surrounding your spawn. I do end up hitting a cave. I see light and immediately go for it and see that it's flowing lava, which means I don't care. I dig down, hit another cave, I see light, redstone, I see more light, and it's actual lava, but that's too small of a lava pool to really work with, so I decide to go down here instead and find actual lava and decide that this is the fitting place to build my portal. Now all that's left to do is just build the portal frame like any other run, get to the nether, and enjoy my pretty much sub 4 entry with half a stack of blocks to work with. Okay, maybe it's not sub 4, but it's close enough. Anyways, I ate the last of my chicken, and my spawn actually didn't look that great. I thought I spawned in a ravine and it was going to be like a reset or whatever, but it opened up almost instantly to my right. I got my settings set up, and I see a bastion right over to my right, which is really convenient. I don't know what type it is. I can't identify it. I don't really care, and I just run over, and I see that it's a bridge, and I start bridging over to the bridge. And what I want to do right now is rush the gold blocks because I don't have gold armor right now, so if a piglin gets line of sight of me, they're going to aggro on me. Awkwardly start bridging over. I misplaced a few blocks. I think I was a little bit panicky, but I got over it. There was a lot of lava in the way. A piglin actually did see me here, but luckily it was a crossbow, so he just fell off and didn't destroy my health. And right now I'm trying to get a few gold blocks, not all of them, because I think you only want like 10 or 11 gold blocks. Getting the rest is a little bit excessive and a little bit of a time loss, because honestly, that much gold is going to get you covered for pearls and fire res and whatnot. Right here, I actually get a bit indecisive. I start bridging over and I'm about to do the dip strap, but then I run back for a second to make gold armor, because if I don't have gold armor, I'm going to get mauled by all the piglins in the way, so I make a helmet, throw some gold to be safe. I break my crafting table, and then I continue the dip strat, which is basically where you climb up the side over here, and there's some weird pit where you, well, I guess you make a dip, I guess. I don't know what it's actually, why it's actually called the dip strat. You make a little staircase because for some reason piglins are really dumb and don't know how to jump. So you go here, you break gold blocks, and all the piglins just pour themselves in. And while all these piglins are like poured in, you put all the gold in here, you go to the side ramparts and hope for obsidian, and they should be done trading by the time you're done. I was about to eat pork, but then more piglins came, so that's really nice. Luckily, I didn't lose any more health. Now that pretty much all the piglins were in the pit, I dumped them all the gold, and I saved a little bit for myself, because whenever I go to the ramparts, I want to make sure I can distract the piglins if need be. I checked that way, and there's actually not a triple chest, which means I have to dig into this wall. This route is something I kind of just made on the spot. I had been practicing Bastion routing on my own for quite a while, and found out that I can just dig 2 down, and I'll find the chest over here if it's not a triple chest. It only had some crying obsidian. I took the Tims too, because why not? At this point, the piglins were still trading because I did give them like 80 gold bars, so I decided to check the other rampart real quick, do some almost cool parkour, and I realized this isn't a triple chest either, so I have to do a similar route where I dig 2 down, go through the wall, and I'll eventually hit a chest. This single chest is the only thing that made this Bastion good because it had obsidian in it, and well, getting your obsidian trades from piglins alone is really difficult, so now all I had to do was go and get my pearls, fire res, string, and whatever else trades. So I hop back over since the piglins are probably done trading by now, and since they're in a 1x1 area, it's super easy to loot all the stuff. Got a lot of pearls, got a lot of string, enough string for 5 beds. I didn't get any fire res, so I cleared my inventory to get a couple more. Got my 2 fire res, and I was leaving the Bastion at just over 7 minutes, which was really good pace. I awkwardly try to find my way back, and I splash a fire potion here to make sure I don't fall into lava by accident. And there was another splash potion of fire resistance by pure luck whenever I was throwing some gold to distract the piglins. And right now I'm trying to awkwardly decide a direction to go to find a fortress, and I decide to go -Z, which is back towards my spawn. Doesn't look like it opens up at all, but I throw a pearl anyways because it seems to be my only option. I keep going, and I look around this hill and to see that it actually does open up, like, a lot, which is really good. So I head down near the shore, look to my side, and I see a fortress almost immediately. I eat up a little bit to heal and throw another pearl. Honestly got a little worried that my pearl would hit the wall up there, but luckily it didn't, so I built up, and I was already in range of the fortress in 8 minutes with pearls, fire res, and everything I needed. My main concern right now was finding the spawner, and I was really worried that the spawner was going to be covered by an entire tree, so I was looking really closely. I actually see a spawner to my left behind that wall right there, so I decide to go down this hall and go left, and I find a different spawner instead, so I decide to take it. And right off the bat, I get a spawn of 4 blazes. I start creating the blazes one by one, and I check my fire resistance, see that I have a minute and a half left. I got 1 rod, and then I start getting bodied by this blaze here, and end up getting 3 out of 4 blaze rods, which is a really good start. I'm checking my cords, and I see that I'm already at a perfect blind travel distance, so I decide while I'm waiting for the next spawn of blazes, I just build my portal in the meantime. Casually waiting for some more blazes to spawn, I decide to do a little bit of inventory management, maybe make my wool for the beds later. I get 1 spawn of blazes. Didn't get a rod. I cleared out the blaze spawner. Just kidding. I decide to go and place my crafting table, I guess, and then I decide to clear out my inventory, and I can't make up my mind at all. Some more blazes spawn while I'm clearing out my inventory because I'm trying to make space for beds. I'm pretty sure that's what I was doing at the time. I got 1 more rod, and I was trying to go with 6 just for the sake of time. high risk, high reward, and I finally decided to clear out the spawner so I can actually get blazes. Even after all these runs since my PB, I still forget to clear out the blaze spawner as soon as I can, but whatever, I guess better late than never. I got my last spawn of blazes. Luckily I got 2 for 2 here. There were actually 3 blazes, there was one behind me. Got my 6th rod. I was really hoping this blaze would drop a 7th rod, and he didn't. So I decided to make my beds and go back to the overworld. Was about to make some respawn anchors, and I realized I didn't have any glowstone. I don't know, I might have thrown it out without noticing. Anyways, I get a 9-minute and 50-second blind travel, which is insanely good pace. My hopes get even higher whenever I spawn in the ocean, so I make some eyes immediately, and this is where I make my first mistake. I realized I didn't have enough wood for a boat, but I didn't throw the Eye of Ender, and I really should have thrown my Eye of Ender first, so to know which direction to go in the first place. But instead I swim all the way over here to get a tree, so I'm just gonna speed this up because this is painful to watch. In case you couldn't tell, this is where the throwing phase of this run begins. Whatever, I get to the island, I finally get that stupid tree that I've been trying to get just so I can craft my boat, and I've already wasted about an entire minute just swimming to this island. I get just enough logs to craft my boat, and of course, guess what happens? Whenever I throw my eye, it goes in the exact direction I came from, which means I'm going to have to backtrack the entire distance I just swam, which was a huge time loss. And of course my eye broke, so I had to go with 11. I placed my boat and just got going anyways. The ocean biome I'm in right now is the exact biome you want to be in whenever looking for exposed strongholds, and I was already thinking to myself, like, this is the run, there's no way this isn't exposed. I do see some light in the distance, but it's actually just a pile of ruins, so I don't really care. I look around to make sure that, make absolutely sure that I'm not missing it at all. I'm even checking the ravines right now. Unfortunately, no matter how hard I looked at this moment, the run was only going to get thrown farther and farther from this point on. There's not a whole lot left to show in this run because I boated several hundred blocks out thinking the stronghold was really, really far away, when in reality, it was just to the right of this island right here, and I never saw it. A world record was thrown simply because I was on the wrong side of an island, and also because I swam over to a tree like an idiot. Anyways, I'm going to speed up this footage as well because I ended up giving up at the end of the run and just opening my world to land to locate the stronghold, and that's whenever I found out how badly I'd messed up. If it weren't for my 2 human errors of swimming to a birch tree in the wrong direction and missing the exposed stronghold, this could have easily shattered world record. It could have been, at best, a sub 13. Everything about the seed lined up for me, but unfortunately this one I threw, so my PB still stands at 1556. At this point I was boating backwards because I boated several hundred blocks out through an eye. I noticed it went back the direction I came from, and I gave up, turned on cheats, located the stronghold, and realized that I made a huge mistake because it was exposed. Just on the other side. And when I located the stronghold from the portal I came through, it was only 200 blocks away, which means I had an insane blind travel with an ocean exposed stronghold, but unfortunately, I just didn't see it. The only thing I can do at this point is to keep grinding, because the only way I'm going to get over this is to make the run irrelevant by getting a better run. So if you want to see me sacrifice my soul and grind all day trying to get a world record, you can watch on my Twitch, because that's where all of my content is at the moment. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching. It would mean a lot if you subscribed. I know I haven't been uploading at all in the past month, but I swear I'm trying. Goodbye.